ran into some new friends. We got Will, I totally forgot again. Albert. Oh my gosh, hey man, how's it going? I've forgotten like 3 or 4 times already. So Will and Albert are training for the Never Summer 60K, which is pretty awesome. They're what, somewhat new to trail running, right?
Yeah, brand new.
Okay, brand new, but they're looking strong, looking good. So yeah, they're gonna crush it. All right, I'm gonna let you guys run ahead.
Take care, brother.
See ya. Well, that was great to meet those gentlemen. A lot of fun to run with them and chat with them, get to know them a little bit. Today on this video though, I am really reviewing the Arcteryx Vertex Speed Low. Low being a lower cut shoe. They have a high version that comes up a little higher and wraps around the ankle. Hopefully you can see that all right in the contrast of these pretty slick looking black and white and gray shoes. So I would describe these shoes as being a high potential and high expectation. For me, I had high expectations for this shoe, but did it live up to my expectations? I do want to shout out Arcteryx for also sending me not only the shoes, but these Norvin insulated pants. They have insulation on the front to keep your legs and other essentials warm, but they're also very breathable and just a good, comfortable shoe. Figured they'd be great out on a day like this when there is a little bit of snow on the ground. It's a little bit colder, the ground's slightly frozen, so it's a little chillier. Let's move on with the review. If you're new here, please subscribe, give the video a like, and comment down below. Let me know what you think about the Arcteryx Vertex Speed trail running shoe. I'll be talking about the overall build quality, the comfort, the performance, and the value of the shoe. But first, voiceover Chad, why don't you talk about some of the specs and features of the shoe while I continue running down this beautiful, beautiful trail in this beautiful, beautiful area. Voiceover Chad, over to you.
Arcteryx states, run your climb in this progressive hybrid shoe that combines the specific requirements of climbing into the efficiency of a mountain running shoe. Fly up technical ascents and comfortably back down thanks to a zoned outsole that grips hard rock surfaces and provides traction on soft trail terrain and shock absorbing underfoot cushioning that keeps you feeling stable and lets you feel the ground beneath your feet. As for some of those specs and features, you get a matrix woven polyester upper that is durable, lightweight, breathable, and flexible. TPU overlays for added durability and protection on the outside of the shoe, as well as underlays, which are inside the shoe and provide additional security and durability. Integrated stretch collar and sock-like fit. Lace garage allows laces to be tucked away. Dual density midsole, which is responsive in the toes or the forefoot and softer in the heel. A 23mm heeled and 16mm toe, feels a little bit more, but those are the official specs. 7mm drop from heel to toe. A Vibram Mega Grip light base outsole with lug depth that is estimated at 3mm. A 4-foot TPU underfoot protective film weighing in at 230 grams or 9.5 ounces and a US MSRP of $180. I should also state that Arcteryx sent me these shoes for the purpose of review, but definitely check out my affiliate links as it helps the channel. And all the B-roll footage that you're about to see in this video was recorded after this run, after about 50 miles in the shoe. So you're seeing the shoe in its true and current state. Chad, back to you on the trails.
Alrighty, so let's talk about the overall build quality and the comfort. We'll kind of talk about both of those in one. I'll give them a rating from 1 to 10. And I was really impressed with the Arcteryx Norvin LD4. And so I had high expectations for the Vertex Speed. When it came to overall build and build quality, Arcteryx did a phenomenal job. You get that matrix upper, which is super durable. It has that Kevlar reinforced fibers in there, but it's also really lightweight and breathable. Additionally, on the inside of the shoe, there are what I call underlays. They're kind of like overlays, but on the inside of the shoe, there's some sort of TPU or additional material on the inside of the shoe that just adds some more structure and support and durability. And then you get kind of a knit material across the tongue area, although it's all kind of one piece. And around the ankle and heel, you get a little bit of that kind of gaiter that goes around your ankle and your heel, helping to keep the rocks out. The knit material is very comfortable and stretchy, so it's adaptable to your foot. However, I'm gonna jump right into it. One major problem of this shoe is on the heel, right back here, yes, you do get a pull tab there, but I feel the gator right around the heel dig a little bit into my Achilles a little bit. It hasn't drawn blood yet, but it is making my Achilles a little bit sensitive. I noticed the same thing on a longer trail run that I did a couple weeks back. It was about 27 miles, 5,000 feet of elevation gain. And by the end of that run, my Achilles, despite putting some KT tape on my Achilles and wearing slightly higher socks, it didn't rub my Achilles raw, but it was just felt and began to be a little uncomfortable. Even on today's run, I noticed that my foot strike is changing just a little bit, especially on the downhill, because I don't want it to dig or to continue to dig into my heel. So I think that's one of the biggest flaws when it comes to comfort and the build of this shoe. Otherwise, the upper is pretty fantastic. I mentioned the matrix upper and those underlays. You also get around the toes a very stout toe box there. I mean, if you kick a rock, like, it's not gonna do anything to your toes. The outsole rubber comes up around the toes here and just provides some good, resilient, tough toe protect there. Hey, Future Chad here. I wanted to mention a little bit about sizing of the shoe. I went true to size, my typical 9.5, and found that it fit perfectly fine. Great length, good room in the toe box, so I'm not hitting the end of the toe box there on those descents. The shoe is kind of narrow in the overall fit, although I'm surprised at how much room I actually have in the toe box. It's definitely more room than the Salomon Genesis. It fits similar to the La Sportiva Prodigio shoe or the Prodigio Pro, very similar in the width compared to those shoes. So yeah, fit is overall very, very good, and I would not worry about sizing up or down in this shoe. It's also worth noting that this shoe does not have an insole, so your foot is kind of laying on a thin piece of fabric or something inside the shoe there, right on top the midsole. The midsole is pretty good. You get a little bit of a softer midsole in the heel, which is really nice for those descents, and a more firm, responsive midsole material in kind of the midfoot and forefoot area of the shoe, which aids in having more of that uphill ascent responsiveness. And that's exactly what the shoe is designed to do. It's designed for those technical mountain runs. So works great on the uphills, and then you get a little bit more soft plushness in your heel for those descents. Additionally, you get a Rock Protect film, a TPU film that helps protect from those really sharp, annoying rocks that you might step on, helps prevent them from protruding up into the shoe. And then you have a really good spread of rubber. That Vibram Mega Grip light-based rubber is not only protective, but offers superior grip. Now, you'll notice that the lugs are a little bit bigger. They're a little wider, which makes them more durable. No complaints about grip at all, especially in the technical bits with the really, jagged rocks. And it just does, I don't know, it just does a great job. This outsole rubber is amazing. Those lugs aren't overly deep. I estimate about 3, maybe 3.5 millimeters. Build quality, I'm gonna give probably a 9 out of 10. I mean, everything just top-notch material, came together really well, should last a long time. I am a little concerned, and the reason for a dock of points, midsole material in the heel, it is a little softer, but I don't know how resilient it's gonna be. There's already some creasing in the shoe after about 30 or 40 miles. When it comes to comfort, I'm gonna give comfort 7 out of 10, which is not the best score. My concern, as mentioned, is in that heel. I feel that the collar around the Achilles area just kind of rubs, maybe starts to dig into your heel a little bit. I also feel that this shoe could have used a little bit more padding in the ankle and the heel. There's not much back there, and I think that would help, one, hold your heel just a little bit more snug, a little bit more secure, and just make it a little bit more comfortable on the back part of the shoe. The midfoot and the forefoot feel fine, although I can't necessarily feel the laces across the top of my foot right now. They are noticed when you first lace up the shoe, so having a little bit of padding padding in the tongue area of the shoe, I think, would make this even better and wouldn't add that much weight in an otherwise very lightweight trail running shoe. Okay, so I'm impressed with the build quality. Comfort could be improved. What about the performance of the shoe? Well, this is one where I kind of go back and forth on, and I think it kind of depends on how you're planning to use the shoe. Originally, considering that this shoe was lightweight, it was built in a similar manner as the Norvin LD4, which I think would be a great everyday do-it-all trail runner. I figured the Vertex Speed would be more of like that race-oriented, you know, lightweight, good for fast technical running type of trail running shoe. Well, I recently took it on a 25, actually my watch said 27 miles, but regardless, a longer trail run, and I found that my feet just kind of felt a little beat up by the end of that run. I would describe this shoe as like a sports car. It's awesome, and you can go take the turns fast, you know, driving up that canyon road really aggressively, and it's amazing and awesome until it's not, and then you just feel a little beat up and it's time to get in a different car with a little softer suspension, a little less road noise. So I think this shoe would perform really well because it's so lightweight and because you get some awesome grip and good ground contact and feel for those shorter, very technical mountain runs. And I think that's the key point. This shoe is a mountain-oriented trail shoe. It's actually one that I think would work really well for those shorter trail runs, super steep ascents and descents, and when you're maybe mixing in a little bit of technical class 3, class 4 scrambling, kind of that trail runner approach style of shoe. Last year I ran and recorded a video. It's called the Arapaho Traverse. Awesome video, but we ran, it was about 5 miles, very steep up the mountain, and then we traversed the South Arapaho and North Arapaho Traverse, going to those two peaks and traversing across the between the two. And that run had some good trail running in there and some scrambling, and this shoe would have been absolutely perfect for something like that. So when it comes to performance for a normal trail runner, even as a race day type shoe, I'm gonna have to give it a 7 out of 10, maybe even a 6 out of 10. For an approach, a fast approach, short, very technical mountain trail run, I think performance maybe would jump up to like an 8.5 out of 10, so a little better. But then it does get into the price. Is the shoe worth paying $180 for that specialized circumstance? All right, I just made a descent down the backside of the hill here. There's actually 2 layers of hills there. Just made a descent there, running across here all the way to the parking lot down there. So, well, as I make my way to the car, let's talk about the value of the Vertex Speed. US MSRP is $180, which is a lot of money to spend on a shoe, even one built as good as this. You're getting a lot of great components, some innovative technology and features. There's a lot to like about the shoe, but $180 is $180. If it were me spending my own money, I would not buy this shoe, but rather I would actually go and buy the Arcteryx Norvin LD4. I think that will be the better shoe overall if for some reason you're in the market to buy a shoe that you can use for those very technical trail runs and scrambles, class 3, class 4 climbing and scrambling, those technical ascents and descents, especially the really steep ones. And then perhaps this is a shoe that you should consider. So value, I'm gonna put at a 7 out of 10. I just think it's a little too expensive, and that Achilles rub does have me a little concerned. All right, it looks like I'm approaching, getting pretty close to the parking lot and the car. This run was about 15 miles, and I'll be approaching about 3,000 feet of elevation gain. I was doing some hill repeats, which is what you saw earlier. You know, just working on that leg strength and the getting stronger for those hills. All right, so I hope all my thoughts made sense. If they didn't, drop a comment down below, ask a question, I'll be sure to answer, and let me know what your thoughts are on the Arcteryx Vertex Speed. Is this a shoe you're looking at, you're considering? Is it one you want to buy? How are you planning to maybe use it? And yeah, I guess that's all I have for you today. So we'll leave this video off as we always do. Oh, and you should join the channel membership. $1 a month just goes to help support the channel, and I would appreciate it. Okay, leaving this video off as we always do. Remember to be consistent, express gratitude. Thank you for being here, and enjoy every mile as I have today in the Arcteryx Vertex Speed Low. I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for joining me. Oh, and I've got a lot more shoe and gear reviews coming your way, so make sure you hit that bell too. Later.